Hi, everyone. Quick update from the House of Commons. Right now, we are debating a super important motion having to do with two scientists that come from the Chinese military working here in Canada at a lab in Winnipeg. Now, this is not just any lab. I'm talking about the highest security infectious disease lab, a lab that works with crazy deadly pathogens located in Winnipeg. Now, these two scientists were working there and they took two deadly viruses from the lab in Winnipeg to Wuhan, China. A number of months after their return, they were fired and their security clearance was revoked. This has to beg a very important question, and of course, that is why. Why were they fired? Why was their security clearance revoked? Now, I think it's important to take a step back here and recall the fact that actually CSIS, which is Canada's top security service, has been flagging this issue for years. So basically, what they've been saying is, hey, wake up, be careful, don't partner with the Chinese Communist government when it comes to research, especially research of this nature. And so their big concern, of course, is the fact that confidential information could potentially be transferred from Canada to China. Again, being put in the hands of a communist government, a dictatorship. China is not our friend. The government is not our friend. And so the fact that information could be leaving our country and going to China and put in the possession of the communist government there is a massive problem. A massive, massive problem. It is about security, it is about safety, it is about the interest of Canadians. Okay, so how did these two military scientists from China get past? How did they gain their security clearance, the highest level of security clearance? And how did they gain employment within this lab in Winnipeg? That's the question. Conservatives now are working hard in the House of Commons. We've been asking questions about this all day long. We continue to ask questions about this because we feel that it's super important. But here's where this started. This actually started at a special committee that was formed in order to study Canada-China relations. And at this committee, we made a request, and that request was for documents that would reveal why these two military Chinese scientists were let go and their security clearance revoked. Okay, so as parliamentarians, we should be able to access that information. But when we got the documents, there were significant sections that were redacted or blacked out. That's a problem. That's a problem because, again, we're talking about an issue of national security. We're talking about the well being of Canadians. We're talking about Canada China relations and the fact that we're dealing with a hostile government. So, this is a pretty big deal. So, when we took it to the House of Commons and we asked questions of the Prime Minister in QP last week, his response to us, you're not going to believe this, his response to us, rather than taking this seriously, rather than treating it with the gravity that it deserves, instead, the Prime Minister turned it around and decided that he was going to deflect and attack. And so he came back on members of Parliament by calling them racist. It has nothing to do with race and everything to do with national security. Our questions as conservatives are very serious about a very serious topic. And we are talking about the well being of Canada and its people. And so I believe, and my colleagues believe, that Canadians deserve answers to these very, very, very important questions. We're not getting them. And so it's why we are now again in the House of Commons for a full day of debate on this topic, requesting that these documents be given to us unredacted. So no blackouts. Time for some transparency, folks. And that's what this government promises. They talk a lot about transparency and honesty and let the sun shine in. Well, let's do it. Let's let the sun shine in. Again, Canadians deserve answers because this is such a serious issue. This is an issue of national security. So here's my request for you, my call to action, if you will. If you believe that the government of Canada needs to put you and your family, your security, your safety first and foremost, and not favor the communist Chinese government, then I would ask that you write a one-sentence email to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And for good measure, why don't you CC the Prime Minister as well? Here's what your email can say. Stop the cover-up. That simple. Stop the cover-up.